Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here, and welcome to another video. This is my 5-stage airlift system. It's designed to use air instead of a water pump to lift water from the surface of an aquarium, and in this particular case, move it up about 10 inches to a usable height. So I can have it delivered to a filtration system. In this case, it's going to be a tray/trickle filter. It's going to sit in the tank. And I want to see if this is actually something that is viable long term. So I'm going to set it up here in the tank. I'm going to let it run for a few days just to make sure all the bits and pieces are working, that there aren't any hiccups, no adjustments need to be made, and that sort of stuff. And then what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to put together a trickle filter. I'm going to have it sit in the aquarium beside this. And this is going to be the filtration system for this tank. This is the mutt guppy tank, the one that was in Wednesday's video. And I want to see how well this is going to be able to filter that tank. Now, these chambers here, there's 5 of them. I am going to put some pothos in there, some aluminum plant, not too many different things because I don't really want to interfere with the flow of the water. But the tray system is going to be something a little bit different. As we go along, I'll kind of explain that. Now, obviously, this is not something that is really practical. It is kind of cool looking, and it does deliver water, as you can see. But this is more of just sort of an experiment. This is something I want to try out just to see if, there's no moving parts, so there's no chance of fry getting squished or killed or any of that sort of thing. And of course, each of those chambers are going to get shrimp in them, and I also have scuds or gramaris, if you like, and they're all in there, and they're going to be doing their thing, and it's going to be interesting to see how this develops as an ecosystem kind of thing. So this is just the box. Actually, not even the full box yet. This is 3 sides and a bottom. I just wanted to hook it up in here just to have a look at it to see how everything flows and where it's going to be. My intent is to have some trays above the water. And then I might have one that's slightly immersed. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to have the bottom of this filled with lava rock. You'll see at the bottom here as I pan down, there's 3 large holes there. So I want to put like a bunch of lava rock in there, and that is going to be another level of filtration, because that's the only place the water is going to be able to get out. Now the front of this is also going to get covered, but I want it to have a different kind of look to it. The bottom part, which is going to go up to the water line in the tank, is going to be glued into place, and it's going to ensure that any water that goes into this is going to end up going through those 3 holes. Just to make sure that what little filtration this does, I'm not sure how well it's going to work or anything yet, just goes where it needs to be. And then I'm going to build at least 2 of these trays. I'm just going to build one for today, just to show you, because I've actually never made a trickle filter tray this small before. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit more flexible and a little more delicate, but it was kind of cute, so I thought I'd show it to you. So this is going to be the top one. This is where the polywool or sponge or whatever I decide to end up using it is going to go. And this is where the water will originally make contact with the filter. So that's going to be the mechanical filtration for this. And I do want at least one layer of additional an additional chamber this size that is going to have a lava rock most likely. We'll see. The funny thing about this, because I was designing this to not have any waste acrylic. I'm trying to cut back on my offcuts. So you can see that the tray is not going to fit perfectly for the egg crate. I'm going to have to cut the egg crate down. It's no big deal. I mean, it's still more than solid enough. But usually when I'm doing these things, I try to make it so it all balances out. But like I said, you end up with enough offcuts that you just have no place to put them anymore. And you just have to, make allowances for simple things like that. So this is going to be the front. This is going to get glued on. And as I said, it's going to get filled with lava rock. I'm not going to do that today, but this is going to have some updates for you. I can guarantee you that. And this is just going to be, like I said, this is going to be I don't really want to call it a refugium, but it is going to be an area where there's going to be kind of access for fish, but it's going to be very difficult for them to get in there. But there's going to be all kinds of invertebrates in here. Snails, there's cherry shrimp in that tank already. And there's also going to be gramaris and scuds. So I like having that sort of environment where there's lots of, that sort of invertebrate will have lots of offspring, and the little shrimplets and baby scuds, whatever they're called, are a great food source for just like a supplement, just a treat, so to speak, for the fish. So that's kind of what I want to do here. And you notice as I'm going along here, acrylic bends, and it's never always straight. You have to be careful when you glue it together to make sure that you get the warp out, which is what I'm doing right there. And actually the bottom one, or actually it will actually be the top. Currently on the bottom, you can see there's a big bend there, and I'm going to get that out as well. So this is going to be, like I said, an ongoing project. I am going to give you lots of updates on this, especially if it becomes quite interesting, which I hope it does. I mean, there's lots of light in that area, and I want to have like a lot of plant growth in there. And I want to know if this sort of thing requires any great amount of maintenance. Is this something that I can just hook up and let run and then not worry about? That would be kind of cool. So that tray is going to sit on these two here, and of course to make sure it's parallel and everything flows properly through this, I just cut a piece of plywood, and that makes sure that these two brackets are parallel to each other, and then the water will flow properly. So we're going to cut to this thing all set up now. There is going to be a front door on this. It's going to be a sliding door. It's going to go up and down just to keep all the splashing down. That will also be an update later on. I just want to get this up and running as quickly as possible, and as I've already said this week, it's been busy, so this is all I could manage for today. There you go, it's all set. I'm going to put a little piece of poly wool in there for now. I think I might switch over to sponge, but here it is up and running. I actually really like the look of this. It has lots of bubbles, lots of stuff going on. It is a filter though, so it is not going to look like this very long. It's going to get algae in it, it's going to get dirt in it, and it's going to start doing the stuff that filters do. It's going to also have roots growing in here, and plants and leaves and all that sort of stuff, and all sorts of little critters going in and out. And I know myself, I'm not going to take this apart and polish it and keep it looking pristine. It is going to mature, and it's going to look how it's going to look. And I just, actually, it's part of the process here of seeing how this is going to be as a real filter. And I am actually kind of curious to see how it is going to mature, to see how it's going to run long term. I mean, so I'm going to do some updates actually really soon, because we are getting close to the end of the year. I want to go through what DIYs I've done that I'm really happy with, and those that don't really measure up. I'll tell you all the criteria in the videos coming up very shortly, I suspect, and we'll go over all that stuff. And unfortunately, I guess this one's not going to be part of it because it's just way too new still. And also we have the recycle rack. I got still only 2 tanks running on that, but I have a bunch of filter ideas I want to work on that. And as always, let me know below what you think of this, what you think of the look of it, whether or not you think it's even remotely practical. And keep in mind, it is just an experiment, and it should be cool, but I mean, obviously a simple water pump would have taken care of this whole thing, and very easily. So as always, if you like this style of video, please like and or subscribe, and always let me know what's going on, and I will see you in the next video, and thank you for watching, and bye for now.